Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Whole Agenda. I am your host, Robert Peppino, and I want to thank you, as always, for being here with me on this either Saturday morning, wherever you are at, or my Friday night here on the Pacific side of the globe. But again, I want to thank you, and I bless you, and welcome you to this broadcast, because without you, I would not be here. And again, it is an incredible Friday night. Still, the weather's still hanging in there nicely, though I think it's going to heat up here within the next week or so. At least that's what I've been told. But then looking at all the earth changes that have been taking place, who knows? You can judge. You can go by the mainstream media weather reports, or you can go by your own observations, I guess, depending on where you're at. But I guess for everybody here in Arizona, we've had the mildest weather probably in the last 5 or at least 5 or 6 years, to say the least. And you know what? I mean, I remember the days where it was 110 right now, but no longer we are experiencing that. So definitely the weather changes are taking place. But anyway, moving forward here real quick, I want to throw this out there like I always do. This is the number one listener-sponsored broadcast network on the airwaves today. And the reason that is because of all of you, because you've asked for that. And, Nighthawk is the one who's put this great network together, and but he does need your help. This doesn't have my magic, and we all need the support. So this is what it's about. So if you can, please donate to the network. Just simply go to freedomslips.com, which is Revolution Radio. Go to the donate link on the network, and if you can, $5, $10, $20, whatever you can afford, would be appreciated, because it helps continue great shows like this one and all the rest of the broadcasts on this network. And I think they're just as powerful, or if not even more powerful. We're all here because we want to be here, not because we're getting paid to be here, and that's the big difference here, folks. And that's why Nighthawk did what he did, and that's why he continues to do what he continues to do. So if you can, please donate. It would be most appreciated. Now, of course, I'm sure you've been all waiting all month, like I have. And I'm luckier than most, because I can actually call her up and her wonderful husband anytime I like, just to chat with them. But I love them dearly, and you know who I'm talking about if you've all been to my website. And, just check out who I have posted for the month. But, of course, it is the third week of the month, and it is Alma Roehling. And she is the cosmic telepathic communicator of Stargate 2012 and beyond. Now she is here with us this evening. Now, for the first hour, just to let you know, the first hour, she will be in a semi-trance, okay? It'll be a semi-trance, receiving information from the universe, okay, for important information that needs to come out, and then she will go into full trance the second hour, and that will strictly be information being given to us. Now, for all of you who want to call in, I recommend you call in the first hour, okay, because you can ask her questions that hopefully the universe will give out the answers to, whatever your question may be. But that number is 347-688-2902. Or just friend me on Skype, and my Skype is robert.peppino1, okay? Just friend me, add me as a contact if you want to do it that way, and then I'll pull you into the show, and you can ask her the question yourself, or you can put it in the chat. I'm not really familiar with the chat. I haven't been using that much. I've still got to kind of just figure this whole thing out with the chat. So best way to do it for me anyway is call in to the network, and then you can just ask the questions directly. But moving forward here, Alma, welcome to the program. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to always have you on the air with me, my dear.
Thank you, Robert. And tonight I had a little bit of anxiety. And
Well, why?
told my husband,
Now, why do you have anxiety? What's going on?
didn't understand why I was having a lot of anxiety since in the morning. And I told my husband, it's like I'm being bombarded by energy that are just trying to weaken me and stop me from continuing my work, to the point where I just say that I said no more radio, no more Stargate, no more UFO Society. I feel I have fulfilled so much with the universe, with my guides, and I felt that I needed to move forward. I didn't feel like no matter how much I give forward to the public on radio or TV or through the San Diego Society, I feel like the work's not yet getting through to awaken humanity. And as a human being on this third dimensional plane, those energies bring me down, because we are trying our best to bring information forward from my guides, and I understand the public, how they can be skeptical, how they can say to themselves, how can this woman receive information from cosmic brotherhood of enlightened state? And I put myself in their place. And yes, it's a good and healthy, skeptical way to see things as being impossible, but they are truthful, they are factual. And I received these messages and contacts since I was a little girl. And what others call channeling, the universe, my guides, do not approve of that name, because everyone is a channel. Because everyone, when they tune into their higher selves and listen to their higher selves, that is channeling, because you're listening to the higher voice. And when you listen to the higher voice that guides you, and you act upon that guidance, and you say and you repeat what that voice is saying to you, that is channeling. So you are all channels. You can channel music, you can channel art, you can channel any subject matter when you go into the deeper state of your being.
Yeah, but okay. Well, I just want to throw this out there, though. I understand what you're saying is that we are all channels, but what you do as far as having the direct connection and them talking directly to you is a completely different story. I mean, we're talking completely different here.
Yes. That's why my guides do not want that to be used for me. For this communication began as a child. I mean, they used to come in my room, and I called them the elders. And under hypnosis, they would say, well, what do they look like? Can you describe them? And all I could say in the voice of a young girl is that they would float in my room. And I would say they have long, grayish hair, and they had robes on. And through the sessions, they would ask, are they saying to you anything? I said, they just watch me. They just like watching me, like they come in to watch me. And they would ask, is it good? Do you feel good about it? Are you fearful? No. It was beautiful. It's like they would come in to keep me company. It felt good. And then they would ask, well, are there any other ones that come and visit you? And yes, I also had the experience of the grace. And they would be around my bed, all around my bed. And under some of the sessions in the hypnosis, they would ask me, how do you feel about these entities? What do they look like? And I described them in a fearful tone of voice and say in Spanish, I don't like them. No los quiero ver, no los quiero. no los quiero aquí. It means I don't want to see them. I don't want them here. And they would ask, says, what are they trying to do? And the voice would say, but they're trying to touch me. They're trying to grab me. And the voice would say, my voice would say, but they can't. They can't touch me. And then the therapist would say, why can't they touch you? I said, I don't know, but they can't touch me. They try, but they can't touch me. I don't want them here. I want them to go. I don't like them. So this is the voice of me as a young, very young girl in Mexico. The ones that brought warmth and light and love were the elder ones, the ancient ones I called them, with the gray hair that were surrounded by radiant light. And the therapist would ask, did they walk in the room? How did they come in? And they kind of floated in the room, midair, near my bed. And then they asked, what others visit you? And then I said, the orbs. They're light. They're like globes of light. They come in my room. And then the therapist would ask, can you see through them? Can you see anything inside of them? And I said, yes. I said, yes. They look like little beings, human beings, but with little wings. So,
well, you know what? You know what's funny is that you mentioned, you know, like little beings with wings. This is something that I talked about, and you know him very well, Bob Dean. I had this conversation with him on Sunday, as a matter of fact, when I went to go see him, and I actually related this story to him. I said, you know, all the authors who have written about little fairies and sprites throughout the centuries, well, they talk about little winged beings and they call them fairies. Well, here you go, exactly talking about what you're saying right now.
Yeah, and the therapist would say, "How do you feel about them?" And I said, "They play with me." So they were like my guardians, playful guardians. So these brought me joy, the little beings with the wings, and the elders or the ancient ones that watched over me with such, all I could feel is just unconditional love that I would receive from them as a child. But the grace, yes, they did come various times. They gave up. After a while, they would not come anymore because they knew they couldn't fulfill whatever they came or whatever their agenda was with me. They couldn't do it. So I had that extra protection since I was a child and now. And what's so special, Robert, right now, this night, it's exciting for me to say this. I've been taking many, many pictures, and I recently became very in tune with other dimensional vibrations, and I was now capturing huge orbs. I mean, huge orbs, not just little dots. I mean, huge orbs, and some are as big as a building. You know, some are huge, like automobiles, and in like huge, huge beach balls. And they just, wherever I feel the energy and I take the pictures, boom, they show up. Or they show up in our room here, in our living room. But I have never been able to capture them in video, moving. And I said to myself, one of these days I'm going to capture them while they move. I want to see them while they move. And today I told my husband, okay, he started taking, I said, take a picture. And I started taking pictures. So when I took the pictures, I didn't see the large orbs that usually appear. So I saw a small orb, and it moved. And then I told him, my husband, I said, it moved. I go, the orb moved. So he says, okay, let's videotape them and see. So we videotaped them, and they were moving, all of them. my whole place, my living room was full of these orbs moving at high speed. And then I talked to them and told them to slow down, so we could, get a better look at them.
Right.
And they would. I mean, they go so fast, it's lightning speed, and you see them moving. I mean, it's incredible. So I told them to move towards the ceiling so I could see them better, and they started moving towards the ceiling. And we're able to capture this now on video. So that makes me happy, because when I was a little girl, I would see these balls of light, orbs. They're orbs.
Right, exactly.
These were orbs, but as a child, I was able to see them with my eyes, you see? And I was able to see through them. Here as an adult, I can't see them with my eyes. Most people have not seen them with their eyes, but they are taken through the camera.
Right.
Some people are sensitive, like I am, and they're able to take these orbs. But the majority are small, medium-sized, quarter-size, small, regular beach ball size. But I capture huge ones, and now they're moving. So that makes me feel good from what I felt this morning, because I was being attacked by so many forces left and right to quit doing my work, to stop. And these voices kept coming and saying, what good is it that you continue to do this work when humans are not listening? Humans don't understand. Humans do not accept. So I felt like, what good is it for me to continue? And they placed doubts in my head.
Right.
And I wanted to quit, because all these thoughts were going inside my head by these energies that are always trying to stop me. So I really prepared myself mentally, to continue.
Well, Alma,
to do this.
Well, let me ask you. I mean, look, a lot of people who just have no concept of what we're talking about, but have been hospitalized or institutionalized because they say they hear voices in their head. The reality is they're probably not hearing voices in their head, but what they're really hearing is the higher source conscious, whether good or bad, talking to them and guiding them either on a path of correctness and righteousness, or a path of destruction for themselves. Would I be correct in saying that?
There's been research that was done about many patients in mental institutions that they weren't, really mentally unstable, that they were probably at a higher frequency, and they were hearing voices or seeing, images.
Right.
And they were placed there. So many are gifted. Many are truly gifted, but because the family members don't understand and they judge it, as something that perhaps even evil, they end up taking them and then have them diagnosed wrongly, and then they start taking medications that increase their hallucinations, and they end up being, instead of their gifts unfolding, what they do is they mess up their brain waves. You see? And by doing that, by keeping them in there like that and medications they give them, they end up being messed up by all the chemicals and drugs that they are giving. And these are gifted people. They should be taken, if parents have children that are gifted, they should take them to people that are reputable in the spiritual, esoteric field, those that are truly in tune with the spiritual world and dimension, to really see what they are seeing, what they are feeling. And if it's on a positive note, that means they are truly in contact with their guides, and they just need guidance, and they need to control their gifts. Just to control them, just like my mother. I told my mother everything when I was a little girl. But in Mexico, if my mother was to tell people what was happening to me as a little girl, the priest would tell my mother that I was possessed, that, demons were speaking through
And
me.
you know what,
or
Alma?
contacting me.
That happened to a lot of people. And this is going back centuries as well. They were, and look what happened. They were called heretics. They were burned at the stake,
Yes.
Yes. Because they had
Yes.
visions, or they heard voices in their head, and they were burned at the stake for promoting, wrong or right, but at that time, they were hearing these things in their mind and seeing these visions. They couldn't explain them, and they were being burned and stoned and crucified and all kinds of crazy things.
Yes. Well, see, I guess I was born at the right time in this century.
You know what? I don't know because still, you're right though. What our guides talk about, there's still not a lot of people listening at certain points. If you ask.
No,
there's not.
It's very disillusioning. Very disillusioning. I've been since a child on this path, and as a young adult on this path, and fully giving up my services since 1987. I haven't given up. I can understand, humans not understanding that other humans on this earth are here for a purpose. And we chose to come. And we chose to awaken humanity to other truths and realities. And even though it's not acceptable, it takes a lot of strength, to continue on. And we have to also be very careful within the medical profession when we're ill. There's no way I can discuss this matter with my doctors or psychologists.
Well, look, doctors, they're trained by the medical establishment, and their basic training, the way they understand medicine and the mind and everything else is strictly in a material sense, and they want to try and medicate everything. And by the way, the pharmaceutical companies who do all the medicating, they're the ones causing more problems on top of all the problems that most people have. And this, of course, goes hand in hand with the perpetuation of the fraudulent system that we all live under. The monetary, everything touches everything else, and these people know it. And they want to perpetuate it. Why? To continue this game of the illusion.
Yeah. Now, I suffer from anxiety and panic attacks. I suffer them since I was a little girl in Mexico. And they started when I was about 9 years old, when we were in an airplane that lost its propeller. It caught on fire. And there were two propellers, I remember. And the plane was going down. And I could see, the suitcases and the air things that fall down so you could breathe.
Oh, the air mask,
Yeah, those things, and suitcases falling, and people, women crying, and I saw people fainting. It's really a horrible experience.
Of course it is.
But as a child, my mom put me on her lap. She didn't want me to see what was going on, and she was just praying and praying and praying. And I wanted to stick my head up, and I didn't cry. I just wanted to see what was going on. I knew we were going to die.
Oh, it was a curiosity of a child to see what was happening. Right.
The curiosity. I wasn't fearful.
Right.
I wasn't crying. I was just curious. I knew we're all going to die, but I wasn't reacting like everybody else. And my mom was just praying and holding my head down on her lap there. Then all of a sudden, the plane straightened up in the air.
Right.
And it landed like a miracle, which is one propeller. From that day on, I started developing anxiety, and I never got on the plane again.
Right.
As a child. I didn't get up on the plane until 27.
And Alma, you and I have talked about this. We've always said and you've known this a lot longer than I have, of course, but there's no such thing as coincidence or chance. Everything is meant to be exactly the way it is meant to be. And you were probably meant to experience that at that time for the development of the gifts that you have now.
Yes. I didn't understand it. My mother didn't understand it when I would have panic attacks when I was a child. But it was not just the plane. It was so many other things that had happened to me as a child that were deeply ingrained, in my deep inner being. And it would surface every once in a while and cause the anxiety and the panic.
Right.
But I didn't know that I was having all these contacts.
Right.
So when I finally realized about all these contacts I was having and the visitations, everything else, I understood. I understood what was happening to me. I was never fearful, but my physical body reacted in that form.
Right.
So I tried to live my whole life in a balanced way, saying, okay, I am on another frequency when I need to be on that frequency for my guides when they need me, when they need to give me messages in the universe. I can be at that level and receive them as a radio receiver. They just tune into the right frequency with me.
Right.
And I can also be in the third dimension, and I'm a grandma. I'm a mother. I fulfill those roles to the best of my ability with unconditional love for my family. Now I'm a wife. So in every aspect of my life, I have to separate everything. The spiritual and the cosmic in one area, my personal life with my daughter and grandchildren in another area, with my husband and his spiritual cosmic work in another area.
Right.
With the UFO Society, it's another area. So I separate myself in all these different areas so I can function and do each thing well. But I do get attacks. I do get my attacks.
Alma, and look, and I understand that because you and I have been together for quite a while doing this together. And, I appreciate you more than you can probably possibly know. Sometimes I might not act like it, but I do. I appreciate you tremendously in all the work you do. But just to let you know, we do have a caller who just joined us. Yes. Area code 509. Are you there?
Hello. Yes, I'm here. How are you this evening?
I'm doing very well. Excuse me. And how are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Good. Do you have a first name?
My name is Lynn.
Lynn, hi, Lynn. It's nice of you to join the program. Did you have some questions for Alma?
Well, yes, I do.
Well, jump right in.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you. I was wanting to ask if you would share some good techniques to reach our higher selves and to help develop our skills.
Yes. Basically, what I would tell you is very simple. When people or other great teachers, make it too complicated, it becomes more difficult for you to enter into those states, those higher states. When you make it easy for yourself, because everybody is different. You're different from another person in another group meditating, okay? So what you would do is you find your own comfort level. Some say to sit in a lotus position. Others say it could be in a chair. I would ask that you place yourself in whatever position, whether it's on the floor, on the chair, on the couch, as long as you are comfortable. Okay? Now, it's not something that a lot of people say requires a lot of discipline. It's something that your inner self wants. Okay? If your inner self wants this and is ready for you in this lifetime to go into a deep, deep meditation and then contact your higher self, once you contact your higher self, that's when your gifts become activated. Through your higher self meeting your guides. So it's a process. You don't just go into a deep meditative state and then develop these gifts. You need to come in contact with your spiritual guide. They make their presence known to you through the deep meditation. You will see them. They will give you their names. This is very important. No one else can tell you your guide is Joe Smith or Lucy so-and-so. Your guides come to you, and they give their information to you. They start with their name, and they tell you who they are. They will tell you, I am your spiritual guide. My name is so-and-so and so. If you have one or two or three. We all come to this planet with our own personal guardian angels or spiritual guides, however you want to call them.
You know, I have a question real quick, Alma, before you go forward. Yes. How does one determine their spiritual guides? I mean, how can I find out? And I've actually never asked you this question, and it's just coming up now. How could I find out or be in touch with my own guide?
The same way that it happened with me. It would happen to anybody else. See, if you come to this planet to be, let's say, a light bearer, to bring enlightenment, because that is your purpose. You chose this to come. Okay. You are activated at a certain time in your life by a certain person that comes into your life and introduces you to a form of meditation. It comes through the meditation, and it comes to the intent and unconditional love of truly wanting to be in tune with your higher self. It's unconditional love. Okay? There can't be an ego attached to it. You have to set everything aside when you go into the deep meditative state. Everything is light, and everything is beauty, and everything is love. When you go into that state, once you go into a deep meditation state, it's all light. You don't hear any sound. You have no vision. It's just light. And it's a feeling, an electrical vibration that starts from the tip of your toes, and it starts moving up slowly, and you start feeling the vibration up, all the way up to your kneecaps, up your legs, to your body, your arms, your fingertips, all the way up your neck, your head, your hair. You feel the vibration and electrical sensation. Once you feel that, everything is peaceful. You're in a state of bliss. You don't feel any more tingly. You're in a pure, peaceful state of bliss. When you're in that state of bliss, you feel warm. You feel unconditional love. Like if someone was just wrapping their arms around you with so much love, you don't want to be out of that feeling or be released. You feel protected. You feel one with that light. You don't want to leave it. When you're in that light, you're already in tune with your higher self once you reach that light. Then, after you reach that light and you feel that beauty and oneness with that light and that love, that's when the greater sun is in your third eye. The greater sun appears as a radiant light in your third eye. It's so bright, it's brighter than the sun that you see in our skies. But in your third eye, you can see the sun. And when you see the sun up close, your guides will present themselves inside this radiant sun. And they will vibrate at a frequency where they can materialize in whatever form that they are. They can be in a humanoid form or in a other cosmic form from their planet. So they vibrate and they form the shape of who they are at that time frequency for you. My guides are in the male form and one is female in the spirit. So my guide, my primary guide is in spirit, but it's cosmic and they look just like us. I have other guides that do not look like us, but they're beautiful beings.
But
Others radiate so much light.
But subconsciously, we choose what they look like.
No, you don't. They appear to you exactly.
Okay,
exactly how they are.
appear to us the way they are. That's it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly. Not how you want them to be.
That's what I'm thinking, because a lot of people have said, well, this an entity came to me and he looked like so and so, and he looked like this, and he looked like that, and I'm thinking, is that just a manifestation of what that person had in their mind, what they wanted that entity to appear to be?
Well, that's part of the ego. Is what you want them to be.
Right.
Is what you want to imagine them to be. You have to set all that aside and leave it up to the universe to send your guides.
Right.
As they are. As they are. They appear to you as they are. And their time frequency to you.
I got you. Absolutely.
Okay. So to the lady that's asking this, it's very simply be comfortable, meditate with unconditional love until you are in that perfect state of being of unconditional light and bliss.
Lynn,
and
you
the rest
still with
will
us?
follow.
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, please, go on.
So basically, be gentle with yourself. Don't put other people's expectations into how meditation should be. Correct? This is what you're saying, right?
Your voice is breaking up. Can you repeat that, Robert, for me?
Oh, so what you were saying is be gentle while meditating and keep other people's expectations out of it, as to how it should be while meditating.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. So many forms of meditations. Don't fall into that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They're good for certain people, but if you find that those different types of meditations do not work for you, then you find your own. You find your own in how you wish to sit, what is comfortable for you, and you just don't think about anything. You have to have a blank mind. Don't think about your family or children or grandchildren or husband, problems, work, nothing. Leave everything out. When your mind is at total blankness, nothing's there, that's when you start going deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's when you will start feeling the tingly feeling. When you start feeling the tingly feelings, you're on the right track.
So expectation. Excuse me, Alma. But so what you're saying is, if we expect something, that is coming from the ego side of the physical brain connection, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because unconditional love is not placed in expectations. It's not. It's unconditional love is not expecting anything from anyone else. You're just open. You're just open to unconditional love regardless. And you're open to the universe, and you're opening yourself unconditionally to your guide.
Well, then
unselfish service.
Well, and Lynn, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. And you could stick with us here. There's plenty of time here. We got another 15 minutes at least. Why do we have so many people on the earth, okay, at this time anyway, because I'm alive in this time and I guess I'm part of this, but why are there so many people on the planet right now who just simply want to ignore their own reality and continue to live in the illusion that they're living in? I mean, isn't that ignoring their higher spiritual self? Isn't that ignoring their real conscious ability to see things for what they are, but they keep buying into the illusion of what's been perpetrated?
It's no one's fault. The problem is we were all raised by certain religious institutions, regardless of your faith. And it's ingrained in the humans.
But I broke free from that because I was able to look far beyond that.
You did.
And a lot of people who
came out of that box.
Right, but a lot of people
Most do not.
Okay. All right.
Most do not, hon. That's the problem. That's the anxiety that I feel.
That's
that
the
no matter
anxiety
how
I
much
feel
I
every
work
day.
at this.
See, that's the
Okay.
anxiety I feel every day.
Yes.
Every
Yes.
day.
The only way that the majority of the human race, a great percentage, the universe asks for 20% of the human race to raise the vibrational frequencies of unconditional love before they can introduce themselves to us and we can unite as galactic citizens. Okay? Now, biblically speaking, in the Bible, it said, if you find two righteous souls in the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the angels say, we will not destroy the city of Gomorrah with two righteous souls. But the city of Gomorrah was destroyed. Two does not mean two people. 20% of Sodom and Gomorrah. So there was not even 20% in Sodom and Gomorrah that was righteous enough to vibrate at a higher frequency to save, the people. So what you would have to understand that in days that we're living in now, they have said that we are beyond the times of Sodom and Gomorrah. But they're still giving us a chance. They're still saying 20% of the human race. Awaken.
Well, okay.
20% of the human race. That's all.
Okay. Well, all right. And Lynn, you want to jump in here? Go right ahead if you got a question, because I got a question to follow up on what she just said. If you need to ask something.
Well, you could probably go with a follow-up question because mine's kind of off on that.
Okay. Well, my follow-up question is, I'm trying to find the correct wording so I don't offend anybody, okay? But the bottom line is, for me anyway, is that a lot of these people, okay, and I'm just going to leave it at that, people who follow the Bible, whether they try and follow it biblically or literally or scripturally, because I think there's a different take on all of that. Look at it as the God source that is acting upon our own reactions, okay? Now, and this is what I believe, Alma, and then you can just, put your thought into this, that we are all God, we are all creators, we are all part of the same source. We are the creator. So if any individual or entity were to create a scenario where they were to tell us that we are unrighteous or we are without love or we are without this and we are without that, that he's going to bring destruction upon us, is not a God. Okay? Now,
No.
just to follow up on that, though, what I mean by saying that is that when people know, I think people truly know the difference between wrong and right, but I think it's so easy for most people to act upon the wrong and so difficult for them to act upon the right that they always choose the easy road. Now, with our brothers and sisters who have been out there looking down on us and helping us through the centuries, I think they have helped perpetuate our own destructions because of our own inadequacies, our own faults, our own inability to look beyond the things that we believe are supposed to be the ideal understanding of what things are. But we have left ourselves, I guess, in almost like in a perpetual state of, how do I want to explain it? In a perpetual state of, what is the word? In a state of self-destruction. In other words, we prophesize our own destructions because of the actions that we create ourselves.
Okay. And I understand partial. And let me see what I can feel that I understand from you. We create. We are creators in one sense because we are creating this world, this illusion of ours, through the ego. The ego is what's creating the illusion. Without the ego, the illusions fall. And what will be co-created, the co-creation comes from one source, from the God or the Father, Mother, God, Creator, Source, the infinite. So from that source, we become co-creators. But as co-creators here on earth, when we bring children into this world, we become creators because we created this life within our wombs of the mothers, but we also need the fathers. It is a true and perfect balance of creation. This is not just on the human species. This is throughout the universe.
Right.
It's a perfect balance. We become those creators, but we are co-creators with the greater Father, Mother, God. But in this lifespan of ours here on earth, we also come and become creators because we create life. And others come and create the formulas to cure diseases. They become the creators of that. But they're special souls that come for that purpose. So that part of what you're saying, yes. The other part, our egos have always been stronger throughout civilization. That's why there's been wars constantly, because of the ego. Why? Because the spiritual self has been blocked. Blocked, that means we've been brainwashed. Human beings have been brainwashed by many of the cosmic brothers that came to this planet from lower worlds to control us. We were meant to be a species that lives long, healthy lives, spiritual lives, advance with new technologies, unite with cosmic brotherhood. These telepathic abilities that many on this planet have, these are all natural, inborn within each and every soul. The only reason some are activated and the other ones are dormant is because the ones that are activated, they come for a specific purpose. And they're activated before the other humans are. They come for a specific purpose. I came for that purpose. I didn't learn from books. I wasn't taught. They were natural. These are natural gifts. They are
right.
activated.
There's some things exactly. There's some things taught, and there's some things you just naturally start to understand as you progress through your life. Absolutely, that I absolutely agree with.
Yes. So blame our egos, but blame the manipulation that has been placed, within our minds by other races that came to Earth. So we are all a combination genetically of many of our cosmic brotherhoods from the universe. So truly, we are one. We are one with them. We are part of them. That's why there's so many different races on the planet, so many different cultures, characteristics, different looks, brown skin, dark skin, white skin, blue eyes, dark features. That is the difference. Just the same as here on Earth, it's the same as in the universe.
Right.
You're going to find short grays, tall grays, midgets. Oh my God!
And 25-foot people.
And 25-foot people.
That's right.
Yes, exactly. So people shouldn't be surprised. I mean, if they look around the planet and look at all the beauty of humans here on Earth, the different nationalities, the different cultures, our different belief systems, our skin, think about it, how beautiful it is, because we're a mixture of all of them, you know? And that's why we need to respect each and every one of us, from our cultures to our races to our belief systems, because the belief systems are all based on partial truth, but no one has the absolute truth.
Right.
Until we raise our vibrational frequency in our spiritual growth, when we will see the full picture of what it means. And everybody will wake up and know the truth. It's simple.
And then what about the fact that some people might never wake up, not in this lifetime, to know their truth?
They will continue the third dimensional frequency, okay, but at a different time. If this planet continues to evolve to a higher frequency, and those that are prepared to evolve with our planet will move on. Those that want to stay within the third frequency will either be taken to another place where they can continue their lives within that frequency of the third lower dimensional realms, and the power and the control and the wars and everything else that they're used to. They can control, they can keep it, they can keep the fear.
Right.
But if they want to stay here on Earth, and if the Earth moves to a higher vibration, and the human race that is ready to move to higher vibrations, there'll be too much light.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I'm your host, Robert Peppino. And if you're just joining us right now and you missed the first hour, I have my very special guest who's on once a month, which is Alma Roehling, and she is our cosmic telepathic transcommunicator. Now, we were chatting the first hour, basically having a discussion of her life and the reality, so to speak, and we've had this discussion many times, by the way, the reality of, what things are, why people aren't waking up more so. And I guess it really comes down to the individuality of the person, where they are, what they chose for themselves in this life. So we're all doing our part, and hopefully those individuals who are supposed to wake up will wake up. Now, she's preparing herself for trance right now, which I believe she should be ready. I'm hoping she is ready. It always takes a few minutes for her to get ready to communicate with our brothers and sisters, to bring the messages tonight for our understanding and our reality, so we can enhance our own lives and come to a larger understanding of our own perception, of our understanding of where we are. Alma, are you there? Okay, and she is probably still in trance, getting ready, preparing herself, because it does take a few minutes. It does take a little bit of time. But it's been an incredibly fascinating conversation, and I've had these conversations with Alma on so many different levels. It's like going to a whole different level of understanding for yourself of who you are and what you are about yourself. You know how you go through life, and as you start to evolve through your own life, and you go through many different relationships in those lives, and I'm talking both with men and women. And just these relationships come about in your life, and you really try and understand how they come about in your life. And some of us do, some of us don't, and which is fine. But if you think deeply about your life and the people that you've met and how you've gotten to this point, everything is a transition from one point to another for your own enhancement and the other person's own enhancement. Whether it be positive or negative is irrelevant, okay? But it comes down to your understanding of what maybe you're supposed to be experiencing in that moment. Now, and just always remember this, and we've had these conversations over and over and over, everything is a choice. You make that choice, whether you have that relationship or whether you do not have that relationship. But I think that is the true freedom, is having that choice to make, whether you are going to have a relationship with this person or not have a relationship with that person. But with that point of relationship that you do make or do not make will evolve you in a different direction, still routed and going to the eventual point that you need to get to, okay, but just in a different way. And I think it's absolutely amazing because how do you try and comprehend that? I mean, I've tried to comprehend all the relationships that I've had in my lives with my friends and women that have been in my life, and trying to make, bring it to a relevant point of understanding. But I think Alma's ready. Alma, you ready?
Yes.
Wonderful. You are there. Who is speaking with?
Hi.
Hello.
I am Nancy.
Can you say that again, please?
I am Nancy.
Well, thank you for coming through and being with us. We're very appreciative of you being here. And, I was just talking about what Alma and I were talking about previously in the first hour of the broadcast. But thank you for joining us, and we appreciate you being here.
We are here. We are near your dwelling studio. We are here in this dwelling of our sister, monitoring activities, and we are also placing our shield as we are monitoring your world here. You have many questions for us, and we wish to answer, for there is much to say regarding your earth. Your earth is suffering. Humanity is suffering. This is an unstable energy that is ruled by Mars, the warring planet, as your astronomers, as your astrologers mention. But know this, your way of astronomically speaking, your 12 zodiac signs, they're not exact, but we accept what technologies you have in your interpretation of the astro. But as Mars being your war planet, this unstable energy is creating havoc on your planet and much confusion among your populace. You have questions for us. We are here to listen to you.
Well, you just brought up the fact of the planet being unstable. This is something that I've been following for a very long time. These are questions that I've asked all of you for a very long time, and of course you've been very hesitant to give precise information because I understand that if you were to give that to us, that would also alert the powers that control this planet and would put them in a very upper-handed or a very positive position. I understand that. Okay, and I quit asking those questions, but I do realize that there is an event coming up, or events in the very short term now, that's going to affect the populace of the whole world. And I've looked beyond the devastating effects of what is going to happen. And my persona, my understanding, and my personal situation in my life now wants to know, after the events, will the structure and everything that has been based on the illusion that has been created by the masters in charge, will that all dissolve, and we as human beings, all of us, the meek, they talk about the meek in the Bible, but I say the meek because we are all the meek on this planet. Will we become a unified race that will transcend the ignorance of itself and become, yes, and become a type 1 civilization?
Even. You mention them, but you say not what these events are. What are these events that you understand or have given information to? So we may clarify these. What are these events? Are you not going through these events? No. We said by other guides that came through, we said, worry not for this cosmic body. Worry more for stabilizing your planet to balance the energies of all leaders to preserve peace. For if not, then you would be heading for a war. As you humans begin to cook your soup, you start with your water and boil it. Then you add whatever ingredients. So, what type of soup do you want? A soup that is healthy and all the ingredients are balanced and edible for all to enjoy, or a soup that has all of the unbalanced elements and boils until all the elements within this soup turn into mush, and you cannot distinguish one vegetable or meat from the other. Then when it is eaten, it is not favorable to your physical body and will create an unbalance and an illness. Your world now is unbalanced and is now going to lead into illnesses. Illnesses because of the minds of the world who do not yet see these events or ignore them. Do not ignore these events. Place them separately in your soup. Place them separately. If you want it to be a good soup, nourishment, then do not add the ingredients that will hurt you. Set aside those ingredients that are not beneficial for you. Do not, we say, give power to those images and messages that your soul finds uncomfortable and untruthful. Take only those things that you see and hear that feel of righteousness and of benevolence, and you feel comfortable within your inner self. Your higher self knows the truth. If humanity tunes into their higher self, they will separate what they see and hear, and they will place what is of righteousness and good apart from what is not, and focus your light on what is not balanced, so you will create so much light or imprison that part in that sector of your planet or city or nation or leader or leaders with so much light that they will be imprisoned within this light. By being imprisoned in this light, no negative actions can be manifested. That is what we are doing, sending forth light to these unbalanced nations and many on this planet who are in control. For many know not what they do. Many do not know that their powers may cause great devastation. Many feel that their own power can be controlled. But we say, no power on the planet that is used of elements that are for destruction can be controlled. They can be stable, but not controlled in its totality. For there are many elements that come into play, which may be of your earth movements, which may be of other technological weapons that will destroy them, or they will be dismantled by cosmic brotherhood, or they will malfunction upon release, being that of any nation who would wish to use such weapons. On the lower scale of your weapons, which you call man-made small weapons, many humans on earth can manifest them. They have the ability to manifest them or make them. And we say, be aware of these throughout your world, for you have much of these technologies and information you give unto your public, for many can make them themselves and cause havoc on your nation and turn one brother against another brother. And many on this planet can use these weapons to manipulate and get what they wish to get. That is a negative element, a negative energy, and it is around your planet. But each nation will go through their own tribulations, such as this that you're going through in this United States. you are going through a period of awakening to these man-made small weapons, which would cause an internal fear throughout your country of feeling insecure. Now, one greater light going against another light, which one wishes to destroy the other by using fear and by using internal chaos. Throughout your planet, this has occurred from eons of time. You create your own chaos by what you create in the elements that you use to destroy and hurt and take the lives of souls.
Well,
Now,
can I ask something? What about the external sources that we have no control over? For instance, the asteroid that exploded over Russia about 4 weeks back. Things like this
that
occur.
was avoided. That was avoided. It would have destroyed much of that land. That was avoided. Did you not see it?
Well, I understand that it was avoided. Of course, it was avoided. But what I'm saying is, the unseen circumstances that we face, not the violent and disgusting things as we do as a human race to each other, but the unforeseen circumstances of external events that are that might occur.
But understand, these events that might occur, there is a probability that they may occur or may not occur. For we too have technology greater than you can imagine, and together we welcome your technologies of Earth to work with us, to assist, and make this massive body go further away from your Earth without causing this greater push and pull and less devastation about the surface of the planet and suffering and death. This is of a prophetic nature spoken of Revelation. But not all prophecy is meant to become a reality, but it is a warning. For we are your guardians. They have called us the Watchers. They have many names for us from your ancient history. Our crafts are bigger than some of your moons. And yes, we do have opposing forces working against us. They want not to assist this planet, but they want this planet to self-destruct. We are assisting. We take care of this planet, for it is so beautiful. You, as a human species, are the greatest in your accomplishments. We would not wish this to be destroyed. We have taken much of the beauty of this earth and studied all your frailties. We have now gained much success to keep the human race together without destruction of your DNA strands. But if you self-destruct in your nuclear weapons they're used, your DNA will be mutated and destroyed. You will not be the same human race. So we are working. So you will continue to evolve in your perfection.
Well,
you are beautiful.
Well, I've heard from other sources that the Pleiadians will not allow for our own self-destruction. That they monitor the nuclear weapons and they will disable them if any of them are launched. Is that correct?
Yes, is that what we just said?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to reassure or reiterate what you were saying, basically.
It's many races, not just the Nordics or the Pleiadians. There are also benevolent reptilian races, which many live on Earth, but others are within their own craft. And there are other races from other intersolar systems and multidimensional and interdimensional volunteers assisting from the spirit realms as well as from your angelic realms. You are loved. You are being watched over. There are galactic wars right now, continuing to fight to preserve this Earth and humanity.
Well, why are there galactic wars? I mean, you come from a highly evolved, civilized race, as most of you do, who have far exceeded the ignorance of war. Why are there still galactic wars?
Free will, for each develops in their own structure, in their own belief systems, and in their own conquering and enslavement of other worlds. This is their choice. As you have here on Earth, warring nations that want to control other nations or the world itself. You have that in the universe as well. There are planets that have always been of a peaceful nature, but they have protectors. They need these protectors for when they are attacked. They have protectors to fend them off. These are throughout the universe, light and dark, depending on what you see the darkness is. But the darkness is also light. But the darkness sees itself as truth, and the light sees itself as truth. But one of them is of the greatest light. So the more light you add to a human race or any civilization or planet, then that assistance assists them to evolve to a higher spiritual vibrational level and frequency together with their planet. As above, so below. This is true. Not all above is of peace and light. Do you understand that, my brother?
Well, I understand what you're saying, but you have sources right now listening to this broadcast who do not understand, who do not believe, and do not think the way you think, and think that domination and absolute power is the key and the source to greatness. And in my opinion, it is the key to destruction. I mean, we can see that what is going on this planet right now. And I don't know about, your planet or where you live, where you developed and how your race has developed. But if we can use our planet as an example, if we can use our planet as an example, would that duality be on every planet in the universe?
No. That duality does not exist in every planet in the universe. free will. Free will converts and manifests that planet into what it wishes to become. So your free will on this planet, collectively as a human race, can manifest what your future will be. So add light and more unconditional love to balance your world and all unstable minds. And you will evolve with your planet into the higher dimensions of the mind and of time and frequency. You will understand this. Not all are ready to move forward. That's their choice. But those that are ready to move forward, we ask that you send your light to all the sectors of the planet that are unbalanced. This will be the salvation of the human race and of your world. Collectively, sending unconditional love and light to balance your world and yourself.
And yet there's still a complete and total separation of humanity. Most people, 90%, have no clue what's going on. There's the 5% of us who are very aware, and there's the other 1% who's controlling it all.
You will see that in the trials and years of tribulations of the seven trumpets, you will know as each trumpet is being sounded. You will see the signs, as you call these events. And as the signs are witnessed and seen and experienced, the human race will then begin to wake up more. You learn by lessons, unfortunately. These will be trials and tribulations.
The devastating lessons. And you just brought up the fact of the trumpets, and I want to ask you, all the extreme, extraordinary sounds that have been heard all over the world, people have said, well, these might be Gabriel's trumpets. What are, a definitive explanation, what are those noises that have been heard and are still being heard worldwide?
They are the vibrational calling to change octaves, as like in your musical instrument. You move from one note to the other. The seven trumpets would be like seven notes. But when you hear each one throughout the world, you will then understand that an event will transpire.
Well,
this is an event that will be heard.
Okay. Well, these events have been heard all over the planet, and I've also heard from different sources that they are supposed to be, I don't know, but also enormous ships that have either left or are leaving the atmosphere and creating a massive disruption in the air, creating these enormous sounds. Is that correct or incorrect?
Yes and no. The trumpets are vibrational frequencies that are allowed to be heard on the planet as warning for the world and for humans to know and prepare themselves, whether it be an earth movement, water contamination, air contamination, inner revolution or war, new diseases, an event. Each trumpet that is heard in the heavens can be each year that you hear these sounds in the heavens, the seventh year, tribulations. And each one is a signal of what is to come. But these greater ships, the mother ships, they are on your outer stratosphere beyond this earth. electromagnetic field. These ships know when to stop, so not to create disturbances. It is the smaller crafts, but they are huge in your size. You call football field size. These sizes leave these greater ships with great numbers throughout the world. As they do, they break certain vibrational sound barriers. And as they're leaving these crafts throughout the world, it then creates also these sounds and also create what you have now seen, like spiral wormholes throughout your world.
Yes, and I have seen those. So it's a multiplicity of, or a culmination of things, what
yes.
you're saying. Okay, I understand.
Yes. Yes.
I have another question, and we still have plenty of time here. The events that just happened in Boston with the bombing, can you give us any insight to why that happened and either who created it, why it was created, and for what purpose it was created?
I will say that in all areas we maintain neutrality, as with this vehicle, neutrality for respect and protection. For within this United States, this you call Boston territory, it could be Boston, it could be Kansas, Massachusetts, Ohio, Nebraska, Texas, any state, that this type of an occurrence could be duplicated. But it was here that was chosen. Now, we will not say if these ones you see on your viewing boxes are the right vibrational humans to cause these events, for there were many that fit the same descriptions. But there are weapons, and these weapons need to be analyzed, and they need to know where they originate from to clear or to justify the actions or the accusation. So much investigation needs to be done, and the truth is not always as you see or you hear. The truth is more complex. The truth involves much more than what is seen or experienced in your viewing boxes or what the people in this state are experiencing. So you may say then it could be part of an illusion that was created by the masses or created by world systems, nations together. So you cannot say one or the other. For we are not given this permission, nor this vehicle. For in doing so, it will create more disturbances. We maintain neutrality, for we watch you closely. The decisions you make as a nation and as leaders coming together to clarify this event. There is a greater light working to create an illusion, and there is a much greater light to dismantle the illusion. Do you understand?
I absolutely understand. I understand that unequivocally. I understand that with complete crystal clarity. I am just, the problem that I have all the time is that I sit here, not night after night, but every Friday night now, and I want for all this stupidity and nonsense and ignorance and absent-mindedness and ridiculous understanding of what things truly are to end. I want it to be a reality, and maybe I'm just living in my own illusion when I say this, but I want to live in a reality where there is truth without ignorance, and there is love without hate, and there is wisdom without stupidity. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, but we say to you in a simple way, to understand the darkness or malevolence, you need to experience it. And then you will know the power and the might and strength of the greater light, which is unconditional love.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you? I'm tired of experiencing this ignorance. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I want to move on to the next level.
Yes. So is this vehicle. She wishes to be removed and for us to take her. We can do so whenever she chooses to go. She is here because she chose to remain longer. We came for her several years ago when she broke her hip to her hospital room.
Yes.
We brought the light for her to ascend to us, and her spirit took out of the body, but she chose to return back of her own free will to continue this mission. But she is free to go whenever she wishes to go. And we respect her time on earth of what she wishes to do with her time, whether to continue with this spiritual cosmic awakening or to enjoy her life in this third dimensional reality. For she has done her work.
I know, but I was talking about myself in the present sense of me when I said that.
This is an example from her to you. You can leave any time. For if you wish to stay, stay and focus your unconditional love only and set aside all that is of pain and suffering. Set it aside. Do not give it power. If you use and you want to stay, that is your choice. Do you understand that?
I understand what you're saying. I completely understand that.
You will find peace and joy. Let the darkness and evil exist, for it too has a place. But you don't need to dwell on that, for it will diminish your light. Concentrate only on your light, what brings you joy, and continuing your work as you are doing so now. That is your choice.
But do my choices lead me to my own personal success?
Yes. If they are of light or if they are of malevolence, you may work on either side. You must choose. Do not dwell on what is painful. Dwell on the light and on the joy and on the life and on your future. And that's what you will manifest.
And it couldn't be anything that I am in the process of in my own life trying to achieve. If I am trying to achieve these things, it is my own choice to make that a concerted effort to make that achievement happen.
Yes.
And what about the people who are the ones who can either make that achievement happen for you or take it away in the physical sense?
No one can take it away. Once you go forward in your manifestation of what you desire, there will come those that will assist you on your path. And those that come to take you away from your path, then you need them not, for you do not wish to lower your frequencies. Do you understand? You manifest.
Yes, I understand. I manifest, but it's the circumstances as a human being, and I don't know if you've lived lifetimes yourself as a human being on this planet, but myself being here on this planet as a human being right now, and you expressing your thoughts and ideas to me are very difficult in a certain sense to comprehend, because as I'm sitting here speaking to you, and I live my daily life and try to manifest my existence, my coexistence with other human beings, I have to deal with the reality of what has been presented to humanity at this point. And it becomes very, very difficult at points.
Concern not about what others are doing, saying, or thinking. Concern yourself about what you wish to do, what you are thinking of doing, not of others. You will attract those energies onto you. They will assist in the manifestation of your desires if it is for highest good and your spiritual progression and joining with our cosmic brotherhood. Do not despair, for this vehicle of our sister understands you, for she also experiences it.
Well, I love the vehicle. I love Alma, and I love William, and I love them deeply, both. And I guess it's my own inexperience in trying to come to the realization of the reality that you are trying to make me understand. And I guess everything is a process of time, and it's very difficult. It would be difficult for most people to understand this concept who are not awake, let alone for the people who are awake. But I am making a concerted effort, and I will continue to move forward in the reality that I'm trying to create for myself.
What is your desire?
My desire is to have my success within the things that I truly love.
Is music?
Absolutely. One of them, well, it is music. Not one of them. It is music.
I would say, is it also to have your own conference? Can you understand?
Say that. Say that again. I didn't understand what you said.
Would you want your own conference?
My own conference. I'm not sure what that means. My own conference.
Your conference with chosen ones that vibrate at the higher frequencies of light.
Yes. I would absolutely love to do that. Yes.
Then focus your thoughts and see it. and see those you wish to take part. See it. And as ones come onto you with this idea, then come together. And as the time is right and appropriate, this will manifest in this year. But you must focus on this and manifest. The right souls will come forward, and you must speak forth of this. Promote this. Promote the interest to reach the enlightened ones to come forward and assist. And many will give up their time and services for this to be manifested.
Well, may I say this, that already one person who's very dear in my life has already offered himself in that respect, and I love him dearly, and he is part of my life, and he is participating in this help.
Mr. Dean?
He is part of that. He is part of that, but that's not the person I was talking of.
Mr. Dean needs a fulfillment.
He's fulfilled my life in many ways, may I say, many, many ways.
Yes. To the world, when he gains enough strength, to the world, it's a greater fulfillment for his presence and his wisdom to come forward once more into light.
Which he is going to do that, by the way. Next week he's going to be on with me next week on this broadcast.
But he will be in a conference, and in a conference that will be manifested as you set your mind, as he sets his mind, and other great spirits will set their minds on this to be so, as this vehicle.
Yes.
To set her mind to be. This will come about with all your great intentions and your own mental powers. Invite other great souls to come forward and to offer of their services, time to make this a reality. We are with you all. We will assist.
And I understand. I do understand. I want to thank you.
Also, your experience as a restaurant owner.
Yes.
And you sold much of that, which you call utensils for restaurants.
Yes.
For we know what's in our vehicle's mind. We know much of you. And we know much of you by our monitoring you and what you do.
Yes, I know.
So,
I know that.
That talent as well, and manifest more income into your life.
But that's not where
broadcasting.
But that's not where my heart lies.
No, but sometimes humans need to do things just temporarily to take them to their next level.
I know I did that. I know I did that. I want to thank you very, very much. You've enlightened me, and you've been a great, great help to me this evening. Something that's been weighing deeply on my mind, and you'd help me enlighten myself, and I want to thank you so, so very, very much.
Thank you. And I will say I came to Egypt many times. And the Egyptian people made us out to be gods. We are not gods. We are only evolved beings, humans. But there were others that came to Egypt and made themselves gods and these were against the greater light. For we only brought wisdom. We brought truth, enlightenment to the culture, as we did onto Mexico City, and also to South America and the tip of your African coast. We brought our knowledge and wisdom, but not to be taken as God. But others did create for themselves thrones of gold and made themselves seem to be gods. We oppose this, as we oppose all deceit on this planet. So, my brother, we will leave you in peace so that our sister may rest. Yes. Is this acceptable?
It's very acceptable. I want to thank you, and I bless you, and I love you so deeply. And I can't thank you enough for you coming here to help us gain a little more understanding of ourselves.